Hi there, my name is Noni Carr and I am the owner and principal psychologist at Enhanced Life Psychology. And I'm just coming to you this evening, it is evening, yes, early evening, to have a little bit more, a bit of a chat with you about what I'm going to be posting about this week. So I posted yesterday and today a little bit about perspective. And so yesterday I posted this image of an old factory asking, what do you see? And today I posted a really cool drawing of a sneaker. It's a two-dimensional drawing, but when you look at it from this particular angle, it looks three-dimensional. So it looks like there's a sneaker sitting on the table. The first time I came across these images was on Facebook. I actually went searching for that image because I was actually looking for the one I'm going to tell you about. It was a drawing of a snake. Now, apologies to those people who have a little bit of a phobia or fear of snakes, but it was absolutely a two-dimensional drawing of a snake on a table. And when you looked at it at a particular angle, it looked like it was a real live snake on the table. But then the camera panned around and showed it as a two-dimensional drawing. So it's the reason I posted this, and there is a particular form of name for this type of drawing, and I can't remember what it is. But the reason I posted about this and this image, and I'm talking about this now, is because we can look at what's happening around us from the perspective of what's in our head, what we've experienced in life, or what our upbringing was, what our beliefs and understandings are about what happens in life and how other people behave. So we can take our perspective, and it's influenced by so looking at a snake, your response, your thoughts and your emotional response and your behavioural response to seeing that snake is absolutely informed by your beliefs and attitudes and experiences around snakes. And someone else will have a completely different experience. So they might see that snake and go, oh, isn't that beautiful? And you might see the snake and go, oh my God, that's a snake. I need to get away from it. I need to run away. So in a former life for me, I've worked as a teacher and I've worked in a school as a psychologist. And it's interesting when I don't talk about snakes so much, I often talk about spiders. And the experience of the students when they see a spider in a classroom is quite interesting, because some will leave the room, can't go into the classroom, and others will, whatever, it's a spider, it's a daddy long legs up in the corner, it's not going to hurt me, it's up there eating insects. So when we think about what's happening to us in our life day to day, our perspective has an impact on how we feel and what we do. So the example I spoke about on my post on Instagram today was about walking into a room full of people. And if we walk into that room and everybody turns around and looks at us, there's a number of different ways we can respond. Some people might respond of, oh, fantastic, look at me, aren't I great? And they've got everybody's attention and they thrive on that. Someone else might walk into the room and go, oh, I need to leave now, everyone's looking at me, and they leave. Someone else might walk in and just go, hi, and go and find their friends. And there might be a number of other ways that people might respond when they walk into a room and everyone turns around and looks at them. How you then choose to behave, how you think. So are you embarrassed? Are you thinking everyone's looking at me? what's wrong with me? What have I done wrong? Or are you thinking, everyone's looking at me, this is fantastic, I've got everyone's attention. Hi Vicky, I've got everybody's attention. So sometimes it's about how we think what's going on, and then how we feel. So if we feel like this is a bad thing, everyone's looking at me, we might feel embarrassed and we might want to leave. If we are thinking, this is fantastic, everyone's looking at me, I'm the center of attention, how can I grab their attention? What joke can I tell? Then we might feel excited and energized, and then we might behave in that way. So when when things happen to us that we didn't expect, or that we would like to be different, sometimes we can switch that round and take a different perspective. And it might not be in the moment, but it might be afterwards. And we think, what happened then? Is there another way I could understand what just happened in that experience? So someone spoke to me in a way that I didn't like. What was going on for them maybe? How could I see it from someone else's perspective? So we need to go around and look at it from the side, or from behind them, or from behind us, from some other perspective. And we might have a different set of thoughts that come to mind, and that then can create a different emotional response to us, in us. Then we are more likely to respond behaviourally differently. So if we are thinking, okay, maybe they're a little bit stressed out, and so they've snapped at me because they're anxious, or they're worried, or they've got stuff going on, or they're preoccupied, then we respond emotionally and behaviourally quite differently to, I can't believe they just snapped at me. That's so unfair. So taking that step back and saying, okay, are you okay? Are you all right? As opposed to getting angry back and yelling at them. And this can have a significant impact on our experiences day to day. And so looking at that picture of the sneaker, we can look at that from overhead, where it's a very flat drawing which looks a little bit oddly shaped. And so, or you can look at it from a different angle. So I've just had someone comment that her teacher yelled at her for no reason, for seemingly no reason. And I get that. That's really frustrating. It's anxiety provoking, because what did I do wrong? We don't know what we did wrong. But if the teacher might be stressed out or anxious, and that's something that you don't know, but that might be something that is going on in their life that is having an impact on them without you being aware of that. And sometimes if we take on board what someone else's anxiety or stress is, we can then feel anxious or stressed or worried about what's happened. But if we can take a step back and go, I don't think I did anything wrong in this moment. Maybe I was talking, or maybe I was just sitting here doing my work and listening and paying attention. And there was something that the teacher was distracted by, and they wanted to, they just took it out on you. It sucks. There's not a huge amount we can do about what's happened, but how we think about what just happened can have an impact on how we feel, and then how we maybe pay attention in class. So if we're feeling angry or upset or distressed about what happened with the teacher, then we might then struggle. Okay, so I'm just reading Vicky's comment. Sociology, we call sporting clubs for women and another for men, and she was like, you don't have to say it like that. I'm confused. We call sporting clubs for women and another for men. So it might be helpful if you send me a message, a private message, or maybe contact me through my Facebook page, Enhanced Life Psychology, and that way I might be able to give you a little bit more help. Maybe we can have a bit of a chat about that off here, Vicky, because that sounds like a really tricky situation for you, and I can see how it would be confusing. You know, if I'm feeling confused reading what you're commenting on, maybe, you know, this is quite similar to how you were feeling when her response was, you don't have to say it like that, and she was seeming to come across as offended. So how about I'm more than happy to have a couple of messages with you about it in a private forum. That might be more helpful for you, Vicky. I'm more than happy to do that. So I think sometimes it is really difficult for us to try and think of a different perspective. And this is where coming to see a psychologist might be helpful for some people. But I'm more than happy to have a chat with you further, Vicky, outside of this more public forum. I hope that's okay with you, and I hope that makes sense. But I'd like to finish that now. But I think it's really useful to have a think about perspectives, and sometimes it is really difficult to do that, and getting some assistance around how you might find those perspectives can be really useful. Okay, so as always, I look to help you live your most enhanced life and living, you know, the best life that you can. So thank you very much and have a lovely evening. Goodbye.